Hello there. I haven't posted anything in a while. I've been busy, and also I'd been tanking MMR on ladder, so I didn't feel like I was kind of in the mental space to make videos. One thing I have learned though is that my biggest issue with laddering is definitely the fact that after a while I kind of go into autopilot mode. Especially with teams where everyone's flaming, I mute everyone, just do my own thing. That's actually really bad for me. I'm trying to keep communication to a maximum. I actually recently joined up with a team that had been something I'd been going with for a while, but it's all like mid 2K players. We're just gonna do amateur stuff. But I am playing the offlane role for that team, which in 2K pubs is not really something that exists so much, but it's a role I want to play. Auto mentally for me, offlane just seems like a really fun, challenging role to play. And it fits my playstyle. Like I don't want to be like farming the whole game. I want to be like making space and making plays and shit. Um, so anyway, I thought that I'd go over, make some analysis of some pro replays in the off lane of heroes I want to learn for the off links. Actually, if I go over, I can see what my hero pool actually is of off lane heroes. So there's probably not much better way to sort this. Clockwork. I definitely play very good Clockwork. That's for sure. Let's see. Timbersaw, wherever he is, is another one that I play very good. Timbersaw, I have a lot of games on Timbersaw. Outside of that, I've been trying to learn Batrider and Faceless Void recently. I I might learn Puck eventually. I mean, he's not really a good offlaner, but he's a fun hero. What else is there? Lone Druid, eventually I might try and make work for games where I'm playing a greedier role. Nature's Prophet, I have a ton of games on Nature's Prophet, but most of them are in the jungle. I want to learn to offlane with Nature's Prophet eventually. Like I said, Lone Druid for any greedier sort of games. Maybe Underlord, depends. There are a few others. Broodmother is another one I kind of want to pick up. Marana is another maybe. I mean, that's really like if I wanted to just pick something that's like the most competitive thing. Marana's good. Marana can be run in the off lane occasionally. I feel like I'm definitely missing some. There were quite a few heroes that I want to really learn for this role. I'm kind of taking, well, not taking this like too seriously, but I'm really taking this as a good opportunity to learn. Queen of Pain's another one that I can run there. And that's a hero that I am pretty good on, I think. Beastmaster too. I really like Beastmaster against techies. It's really, techies is obviously a very like niche pick that I won't see much, but against techies, Beastmaster is a fucking god. Earthshaker is another maybe that I want to pick up, and there's a lot. But anyway, I just thought I'd start with some of the more mainstream ones, so I decided to go over Faceless Void in the offlane. I thought, what better to analyze than EG Universe. This is EG versus Digital Chaos. I think game one. I'm not sure off the top of my head. I just found an EG game with Faceless Void, because Universe is basically the best Faceless Void player in the world. And I just thought that I'd see what I can learn from it. I have played a few games in the offlane. The thing is, it's very hard not to have the lane get stolen, just have someone else come in and take all your farm. Is that a bug, or did they actually basically start off smoked? If so, that's amazing speed by the. Okay, there we go. Okay, Slay immediately bought and used the smoke. It looks like everyone in this game is immediately teleporting to lanes. I guess this is the losers bracket finals. Everyone's taking it very seriously. That's 100% something I do not plan on doing. I do not plan on as a mid having to teleport to my lane. Sometimes I think as an offlaner it's pretty okay to teleport straight to the lane, but just to drop wards in their jungle and see what they're doing. But obviously this is not something I would expect in anything other than a team game, and even then I wouldn't really expect it from a bunch of 2K players. This is not the part of the game I feel I need to be working on. My negative 1 minute smoke ganks are not, that much of a thing I'm worrying about. Starting item build here is really just seems to be 100% about survivability. 2 tangos and a self, stout shield, and time walk. Those are all just staying alive in the lane. Tells him he's probably not planning on getting much aggression in, and it's against Probably. It's just off the top of my head, and I could check the scoreboard. Obviously, I can't do this in a real game. Yeah, so that's gonna be Razor, Mirana, and Oracle. It's gonna be, or maybe it's Razor, Naga, Oracle. It's one or the other is the support combo. It's Weehaw playing. Okay, so it's support Naga. That lane does seem fairly hard. I guess in a pro game against tri lanes, you're just never gonna get a kill. Especially on a Void. And his team doesn't seem to have anything that can rotate too well. Actually, you know what, I take that back. There's a lot of stuff here that can rotate to his lane and get a kill. We'll see how it goes down. It looks like he's in the safe lane this game. Yeah, that looks like an aggressive tri lane to me. So he's going to be in the safe lane this game, and so he's just going to be going solo against the Tide, in which case I'm not too sure about this, but we'll see. We'll see how the lanes end up working out. What the fuck? I was seeing a Night Stalker on the map there, but this replays are buggy, man. Maybe it was just the Razor with like another character's thing over it. Okay, let's fast forward a bit. Immediately cuts back to the creep block, and I assume with pros, yeah, the creep block's gonna almost be perfect. One thing I'm noticing right away is he's almost always clicking basically inside of his character's bubble to get the block. Like he's not clicking very far away. This seems very calculated. Normally my blocks are not quite this good. I'm sure he'll be able to get the range creep out in front, which is something I still do not get consistently. Another thing I want to do eventually is set a hotkey just to have the camera follow my character. Once again, I think I said this before, but double left click on that. Yeah, I'd been saying for a while I was going to show my ladder boosting strategy, but clearly it did not work, so I dropped back down to like lower than I started. That was because I just got a lot of games where I was playing lifesteal in the jungle, I think I said that before, but a lot of games where I just had to pick support because people do not communicate. People were flaming, I muted everyone, it did not go too well, but it was not as much of a guaranteed win as I thought it was, essentially. Because I started out like 8-1 and it seemed really good, but then it stopped being good. Okay, so anyway, let's go back. Let's see what the Tide has in inventory. What the fuck? That's locked. I don't know exactly what that does. I think that like, does that lock it from being crafted into something, or does that lock you from dropping it or consuming it? I don't know. He has the same amount of regen, but no stout shield. But he has all this damage reduction and shit. And I would say, yeah, this does seem like somewhere where Void can go in and get some damage off, and the second he hits E, Void can just Q back. That would be my assumption. So we'll see how the damage trading goes. Honestly, I feel like I skipped over way too much there because I was busy talking, but I feel like a lot really went on actually. So let's go through this in slow motion. Okay, so the first thing he does is walk over here, and that's to buy the slippers. That might just be because he saw his matchup. That might be because, did he get the rune? I think he might have gotten the rune, honestly. I think he did. If he got the rune, that's why. Maybe it's because he saw his lane matchup and just wanted a bit of extra damage. So he aggroes the creeps back right there. See, I'm not 100% sure if that's necessary. I mean, obviously he thinks so. I guess he did it because the Tide Hunter was tanking creeps, so this way it's gonna pull the lane back once his creep's gone. The Tide's creep's gone, his range creep. His creep says it's gonna go on the Tide. So that's actually gonna push the lane in two different ways. The Tide just aggro switched off there, I believe. The Tide's auto-attacking, so clearly the Tide wants this wave pushed in for some reason. I cannot imagine why, but he does. Void did not get affected by Tide's E there, and it seems like he's taking that as kind of like, okay, time to go in. He doesn't have his E, he can't reduce damage. Now I'm going to get a better end of this trade if I go in, and also he has the ability to undo damage, so he's just going to go in. Also, no, actually, he's down on creeps. before he needs it, he went for the regen, which is kind of a good thing about having 8 tangos, but this is something I see a lot in higher level games. They start regenning basically while they're at full health if they ever plan on trading damage, and I think that's something I could do. Honestly, I don't think I've come across many situations where that would have saved me, or like gotten me a kill, but I'm not sure, maybe I'm just not thinking about it enough. Okay. So now, because there's distance that the other creeps are gonna have to walk, they're gonna have to actually walk further than the Tide's creeps. He goes for these hits. There does seem to be a lot of just paying attention to exactly where everything is, and that's something that seems to go on a lot in the offlane. From other analysis videos I've seen, there's a lot of like taking advantage of fog of war and like doing mind games and stuff to get them slightly out of position so you can trade damage, like making them think you're afraid of them. But anyway, he got an absolute shit ton of damage in there, because the Tide's E was down, I have to assume. Okay, let's go back. Nope, the E was up as soon as here. I don't know why Tide didn't do it then. Okay, that's weird. Because he could have done it right here, just tanked up, fought him, and that does 45% damage reduction, so he's taking about 50% less damage from everything. And this trade's going to go so much better for him. I guess at this point, it's just he doesn't want the Void blinking off the damage, but I think this is not very good for him at all. The Tide's inventory now, okay. Now the creep wave is over here in East Farm, which is a situation I don't think I've ever come across. There seems to be almost a ton of auto attacking. I'm not sure. I think that might just be them trying to keep the wave balanced. Neither of them wants the last hit under tower. I guess. I don't know. He has to be planning to blink off this damage. Yeah, okay. Because I was about to say he's taking a whole creep wave's worth of damage there. He pulls them right back, and then just continues on farming. This seems to be aggressive. This seems to be him seeing kind of a weakness there, and that he can trade damage better with the Tide than the Tide can with him. And since they have equivalent regen, he's just going for it. He just got to level 2 and immediately went to get some right clicks in. Tide walked away. See, right now he's going. No, he's not. Okay, I was gonna say maybe he's going for it right now, even with the damage reduction, because he has that stun up. Another thing, I don't think there's been any denies in this lane. Tide's denied 1 creep, so Tide might actually be ahead in levels. That's something you really have to pay attention to. Yeah, he's that much XP ahead from 1 deny. Range creeps are a lot of XP. I have to assume Void missed XP somewhere else. That doesn't make sense otherwise. Or maybe he's still level 1 now? Huh. Maybe Tide got the rune then, I don't know. But, denying the range creep. The range creep's about half of the creep wave's XP. So, it can lead to huge differences. I don't actually know exactly what Tide's passive does. Okay, thickens Tide Hunter's hide to passively block a portion of any incoming physical attack damage. The hide also removes negative status effects if the damage taken crosses a threshold. Does not stack with items that provide damage block. So, damage block, 12. So every right click does 12 less damage at level 1, and if it goes above... If he takes 600 damage within 6 seconds, he purges himself, is essentially what I'm getting out of that. So that seems fairly useless early on the purge part, at least. The minus 12 damage is basically a stout shield, though, which I guess is why he upgrades this to get even more damage block. Although I think with Tide still wins out on the damage block. And now the creep wave's almost dead. He took some damage, so he just blinked back. Missed the last hit. How must it feel as a pro player to miss the last hit in such an important game? Gotta hate yourself. He's missing a ton of them. And obviously I couldn't do better, but... And I've seen so many pro... And I guess as the offlaner, it's not something you focus on as much, but I've seen so many pro carries get every single last Thunder Tower and do some insane shit. Like, they'll like drop their Quelling Blade for certain attacks to line up the damage just right. Like, some insane stuff. I think the Quelling Blade dropping was RTC. That was... I can't imagine stuff like that, but... Yeah, I feel like any last Thunder Tower, if you're good enough, can be gotten. Because every part of it's predictable, except the tower damage is a bit variable, but it shouldn't be that variable. Obviously, also your own damage is a bit variable, but once again, I don't think it's enough. I think you should be able to get like 95% of the last hits, and the ones you miss are just gotta be bad RNG. Okay, he's probably further behind on XP, because of that side pull back there. Oh, he got a stun there. It's not going to turn into anything. He's going to undo that damage, maybe heal up. Okay, I guess not. I guess in this lane, okay, I was about to make a point, but then he solved. I was going to say in this lane, there's no way the Tide can ever kill him as long as his Q's up. So as long as he only goes in with his Q up, he can never die unless someone else rotates into his lane. And right now he has eyes on everyone on their team except the Oracle. And his teammates probably are making calls. Oh no, the Oracle's bottom too, so he's perfectly safe. And it isn't a very ganky lineup. The only person who can gank him, in reality, unless he really overextends, like back here, the only person who can get a kill on him is the Mirana. Now he's doing better under the tower. Yep. I'm not sure if it's passing. Oh, okay, he got a Quelling Blade, that's why. He's getting bad RNG there. If he got another stun, he would have had the kill there, I think. Tidehunter is very tanky, so it's hard to tell. He should have actually gone in sooner there, I think, to cancel that. He let him get, say, another 100 health from that salve. I'd say he waited like 2 or 3 more seconds than he needed to. I might be wrong, could have been way less. Could have been like 30, 40 HP. But keep in mind, he's only probably taking, what? Assume he's level 5. He's level 3 and that, so he's taking 40 less damage per hit. Minus 45. Honestly, like 80 health is like 6 extra right clicks on a Tide to kill him. If he gets his E on you, otherwise it's like 3 or 4 extra right clicks. It's still a ton, with his damage where it's at. Oh, that's weird. I didn't know that. I thought that, Tide's E only, affected your, damage to Tide, but, apparently it affects your, damage to anything. It just changes your base damage. That's interesting. So it just makes the last hitting really hard too. That's cool. Tide has an Orb Venom. I'm not sure why, honestly. EG has a very like escapable lineup, and especially the Void, he's never gonna get killed with that Orb Venom. So I honestly don't understand the pickup. I'm not saying it's wrong. Clearly, it's correct. These people are way the fuck better than me, but I do not exactly understand why. I'm trying to think. He's gonna try and chase down the Luna, or like, I don't know. Tide's not the kind of hero I'd associate with an Orb of Venom in the first place either. It's very weird. Okay, he has. No, okay. He was about to hit level 6. And I kind of noticed that. Like, I noticed he was on 5 for a bit. I wasn't paying attention to exact XP. But, once he's about to hit level 6, and you can even keep track generally to the creep, it's probably going to take this, I don't know, like, these creeps dying, like, yeah, I'd say, 2 melee creeps dying for him to hit 6, and he calls for a gank, and the Luna TP's over. Since it's a pro game, they're really paying attention to the supports. They're saying, okay, well, we just got ganked mid, so they're about to get ganked mid. Of course, we're safe. Top lane safe, we create some space. But no, the Luna actually comes over, and the Luna didn't have a TP scroll either. That's actually so fucking good. The amount of information hiding going on in pro games is insane. It is all about information in these games. if both sides had map hacks, it would be like so ludicrously hard to win. But it all comes down to hiding information. So the Luna comes over here, out of vision. Well, actually caught by the sword, but out of vision. Buys a teleport scroll. Teleports up top because Faceless Void's about to hit 6. That's so good. That's some stupidly good organization. That's the kind of stuff that like I will have such a hard time. Like, oh, that's just so stupidly good. He could have done that a bit better, but that was fine. He hit the tower and he hit Tide, which was actually cool because he had the tower off screen to actually be able to hit that was impressive. And that finished up his boots, and he goes for Power Treads, which is fine. I don't know why he has him on strength right now. I guess for the HP regen. That's actually something I want to eventually do the math on, but I'm far, far too lazy to. Doing the math for how much strength you have to have for the extra, or how much bonus HP items you have to have, I guess, might be the right way to put it, because I think that's more important to it. You have to have for the bonus HP regen from points and strength from your power treads, to percentage-wise give you more HP per second than if it was on something else. Because if it's on something else, you're getting less HP per second regen, but you also have less HP, so I'm not sure which one would fill you up. I might just have like 2 characters take like 200 pure damage right next to each other, one with power treads on strength, one with them on int, and just check it out and see which one heals first. It would take a while though, because it would be slow as fuck. Okay, switches to agility the second he goes for this camp though. Farming's going to be really easy for him because he has a Quelling Blade and a Poor Man's Shield. He's taking no damage, and he is dealing a shit ton of damage to these grapes. Not a shit ton, but like 100 per right click. 6 minutes. Oh, that's actually really smart. He went over that camp expecting to get the rune, and it was done. Oh, and it also respawned the camp. So fucking smart, boys. Watching a pro replay makes me feel so inadequate every time. It's like compared to the shit that I'm doing in pubs, it's so bad compared to this. I know at some level they could never play at a level. Like, if you could get a team playing like this in pub games, they would be like 12k MMR or something. Like, it would be so far above, like, a random stack of like 9k is like Miracle. If you just had a whole team with a plan that was communicating like this, that would be so much better. Like, obviously there's so much crap in here they can never pull off in a pub. Obviously not exactly stuff like that, but stuff like that Luna gank will never happen in a pub. There's a lot of stuff EG does in particular. That's just some really good teamwork. Like, some really good planning. Here's dead here. His Chrono's coming up in a few seconds. He has a teammate there, and I think this looks like at least 1 kill. I don't think Tidehunter was the right target. I absolutely do not think Tidehunter was the right target there. I think going over to, who else was it? Tidehunter in general is always a bad target. Okay. The Oracle might have also been a hard to kill. I'm not too sure. But this Tide kill I do not see happening. If there's someone rotating in, maybe. But even with an ultimate, and then he has to drop an ultimate to kill a Tide, which is kind of suboptimal. Oh. You know what, maybe I spoke too soon. Okay, he also picked up an Iron Talon while he was back in base, so he really plans on jungling. I guess this is something I should take note of. It just seems like every offlaner, like I keep hearing every offlaner jungles, and I always look at the game and it doesn't look like it, but I guess when you watch from their perspective, it's not something that spectators focus on. He did miss a pull there, I think. No, he did not. He could have maybe pulled it off. No, he just noticed he couldn't, and then he was a couple seconds late. Maybe if I'm back in the last camp, Yarntel in the tree and started working his way over while he was killing that camp. But then he would have killed the camp slower. So it's really iffy. One thing I noticed about pros when they're checking the scoreboard, they're actually generally checking levels, more so than checking the KDA and stuff. So that's something I also need to start doing, just using less to check levels. Cause right now I noticed that PPD is a bit underleveled. He's the highest level in the game. The enemy supports don't have their ults yet. There's some good info there. Fear doesn't have his ult yet either. That's kind of stuff they probably have communicated though. So they go for the smoke gank here. Let's see how they execute it. And this is just because everyone involved in this has their ultimate up except Quap. But Tonka and Void both have ultimates up, and their ultimates kind of go well together. You Chrono someone, and then you're guaranteed to land that boat. Landing the boat might not even be the most important thing on the boat in my experience. Just getting the minus damage is super good. And it might even be like hitting one teammate with the boat and hitting an enemy versus like hitting your whole team with the boat and like hitting no one. And I'm not even sure that I think hitting no one might even be better. It depends if a team fight's about to happen. Obviously, you just want to hit the boat. But in a team fight, I think getting the rum on all your teammates is better than like landing a boat on a single target or maybe even 2 targets. I don't know. That's just something that would come down to experience and like how well team fights tend to be going and stuff. And what other team fight stuff you have on your team. If you're the only like big team fight spell on your team, then yeah, landing the boat's probably more important. But a game like this where you have the Void, and yeah, Co-op Luna, you have some other ways to team fight. Whatever, I'm going off on a tangent here. Essentially it's just farming. 50 last hits at 10 minutes. I think I usually end up at 50 last hits at like 15 minutes on an offlaner, but there's a reason these people are better than me. On a carry, I think I usually end up around 50 at 10 though. If I have a good lane, at least. Which is like the pros if they have a bad lane, 50 at 10. Okay. That was I'm not sure if that scan is picking up the Razor, if it's picking up something else. I could check, but I'm too lazy to. Scans are another thing I need to start using. It's good information, but I never know when to throw them down, or it's just so hard to know like what information do I not have, but I'm almost sure I have. Like you'll notice in pro games, scans are almost always right because they almost always predict their movements right anyway, and it's kind of a confirmation thing. Whereas for me, like, I'm either throwing them down at random, or I'm throwing them down on something where I already know the person's there. So what's the point? Okay, Naga TP's in, I don't know why okay, there's more people there. He didn't even look to see who was coming in from the woods, though he just backed off when the Naga came in. I guess it comes with the assumption that these people are good, because they're fucking pro players. So it makes sense, that the Naga's not TPing in alone. But I do not think the Naga's 6 yet, is she? No, she's 7. Okay. Fair enough. So, I mean, the biggest things the biggest thing I feel is to immediately, when you get 6, have a kill planned while you're at level 5. That seems to be very important. What else is really big? I mean, some of his farming patterns are good. The way he trades damage in lane is... I just don't know enough about it, honestly. And if I look into his item choice right now, he's going a Mask of Madness, which just straight up makes a lot of sense with his team. The bonus attack damage is really good for a lot of his team. Bonus armor is good versus a lot of the physical damage the enemy team is going to be putting out. Actually... they're not putting out that much physical damage, because the Naga's a support, right? Okay. Because Morana doesn't do too much, it's mostly against the Razor. whatever. And you need some lifesteal. I guess, fair enough. If you're gonna be, another thing about pro games, they tend to go for more early game items, because they cannot risk, having that gap for a late game item, because the other team's gonna notice and gonna punish them for it. So you need to just build up naturally. I'm hitting my microphone a lot there. Also not sure exactly why the, I don't even know what that item's called. The headdress was the first part of this he got. I don't feel like the HP regen's done anything for him. Okay, they just get a tower for free, not for free there. They notice that the enemy's taking their top tower. So they take bot. Another thing is just grabbing Iron Talon and going jungle seems to be fairly important, because he even had a good lane too. I guess it's just at some point your lane becomes dangerous as an offlaner. And I'll still work on that, because obviously I'm playing worse people, less organized people, so I'm not too sure. But I might want to try going Iron Talon a few games at like 5-6 minutes, just going into the jungle, or maybe even later, like 8 minutes. I'm not sure exactly when he got his, but just once you're kind of done with the laning process and team fights are starting, just grab an Iron Talon jungle, so you're closer to the team fights when they come out and you're in a safer position in general. So another, just trading towers. I think the trade's kind of worse for them, although they're taking, no, they've taken over most of the Radiant jungle, or yeah, the Radiant jungle in return for losing most of their own jungle. It seems to be pretty fair. Now he actually is safer farming down here, which I find strange, but it's worth noting. I'm not sure how well this applies to real games. His team just seems to in general be floating around their jungle. Not sure if they're planning to push. I don't expect them to push with just a Kunk and a Quap, but they're looking to punish anyone on the Radiant team who goes into their own jungle, it looks like. Or at least those 3 camps, bare minimum. I don't know, I feel like that's probably enough. Not sure how much more there is to add. A lot of everything after this is just kind of basic Faceless Void stuff, to be honest. So I think just since he was going into a solo lane, he went for like, no, I think any lane you go for the high regen, wouldn't you? Yeah, his build's fairly standard too. A lot of this is standard, and I think he just has a really good sense of when to trade. And the reason he's so good on Void is just kind of his team's communication. EG is very good at planning shit out instead of just kind of playing their own game. They really do function as a team, and I think that just works well in Faceless Void. That's interesting. I thought there would be more like tricks to it. I could be wrong. There could be a ton of tricks to this that I'm not noticing. I don't know. I don't know. Vladimir's Offering is also an item I don't really go for on Void often. I might try it out in a few games where I have like a very fighting-oriented lineup. But I think that's kind of all for this recording. I'm going to go to sleep soon. Probably upload this tonight, maybe tomorrow. We'll see.